What's up? You rolling? You rolling. Alright. What is up, people? We're back. What a beautiful day it is. Sun is out. The sheep are walking. The wolves are running. Welcome. Today I want to talk about why you should do something you might not feel like doing. We all have this feeling, right? Constantly, probably. Where you make a plan to do something and then at the end of the day you realize you did not do it. And today we're gonna talk a little bit about how we can overcome that. Where it's coming from and maybe what we can do about it to change it. So I'm not talking about doing something bad like drugs or smoking, right? If you don't feel like doing those things or things that are not for your best interest, don't do it. Just leave it alone, because that's probably your ego telling you something to do while you do not feel like doing it. It's the mind talking and not the inner feeling you have, which leads you into a better direction, into something more fun, loving, positive, or whatever it can be for you, right? Whatever you need at that moment. So most of these thoughts of doing something and not following up on it stem from a plan, right? You have this idea where you wanted to do something, or you want to do something, and that's a plan. That's a goal, that's something you want to pursue, that's something you want to do. So for me it's making a YouTube video, which when I woke up, didn't want to do, because my mind was telling me, like, you have no topic, you have this, or you need to have this or that, or you don't have it. And this is so detrimental for your progress if you give in to that not doing it. Because as we spoke about yesterday, we need to change our actions, we need to change our thoughts, and we need to change our actions. So I can change my thoughts, but if I don't follow up with a certain type of action, then there will be no change. I will only be procrastinating about what will happen, or what can happen, or what might happen, or what will not happen, right? And there you get stuck. Then the cycle continues and continues and continues. And what we want to do is break out of that loop, that cycle, which keeps you in that old habit, in that old space of thinking, in that old way of being, while you actually want to go somewhere further, do something bigger, do something better, right? So we need to take these small steps. When we perceive something we want to do but don't do it, it will create this block for us, right? We will start doubting ourselves, we will start feeling really down, and a lot of negative self-talk is involved in this. Like, why can I just not do it? Why is this or that like that? And the only thing you have to do and to realize is just do it. The more big you make it in your mind, the more you start thinking about it, the bigger and the bigger and the bigger it will become, until there's so much resistance that you might cry yourself to sleep at night, wondering why you did not do that. Whilst the other option is doing it, following through it, using a little bit of willpower or whatever, if it's a new action, a new habit or whatever, then you're happy. You will start feeling more grateful for what you're doing, because you know that you followed up on the thing you wanted to do in the first place, right? And this builds trust in us. This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, I do this small task and therefore my self-worth will be a little bit better, a little bit higher, because I know I can trust myself and follow up this plan I made for myself, and therefore creating some inner change, thoughts and action, right? So what the biggest thing is for doing something you would not like to do, I found out for myself, or I'm finding out, is that it's built on this old idea, right, of I'm not good enough, I cannot follow this plan, I cannot do this or that. And you get so stuck up thinking about it that you completely forget where you are at the moment. You're not in focus anymore. You're not in the flow of life, in just the being of who you want to be. And that's because you are in a comfort zone, in this stuck set up box for yourself, where you have really big difficulties of getting out because this box is so well packed, you think at least, because all this resistance is blocking you from seeing what's outside of the box. And the only thing we have to do, really do then, is to let go of that resistance, take the action and just do it. And that's beautiful, because every time we step a little bit outside of that box becomes bigger, bigger and bigger, until we see no box anymore. I don't see no box anymore, at least. There are a lot of boxes, I see the boxes, but I see the bigger picture. Because I let go of what's comfortable to me. And I will do so until probably forever, because I want to learn, want to experience, and want to be. So the biggest thing for you to do, if you are feeling stuck in this box, like for instance, take somebody who's afraid of heights, right? It's an easy example. It can be really irrational where the fear of height is coming from. Like, it doesn't have to have any sense of belonging in your life. Like, why are you afraid of that height, right? It can be because you are maybe scared or fearful of dying or stepping over the edge, or what happens when I fall, right? But just the act of standing there, of being on a greater height than the floor is, or the level, is not scary, is not fearful inherently. And the thing I want to share with that is that when we are so caught up in that moment of, oh, it's so high, I'm afraid, I don't think, that will create resistance. Well, for instance, if you go bungee jumping or whatever when you're afraid of heights, it will be so freaking hard to jump off the ledge. That's the hardest part, right? But once you are falling, you will see that there's nothing that can hurt you. There's nothing that will hurt you. Because these fears, these blocks are all in our mind. And therefore, I found out that the best thing you can do to overcome these fears or these negative blocks or whatever is holding you back in life is to take the biggest step you possibly can. Like, jump out of that plane if you're afraid of heights. I hope when you come down, and I feel like when you come down, that fear has become easier. And if not, then it's time to look up for some counseling, right? Not to shame or whatever anybody who is afraid of heights, but you shouldn't let your life be guided by fear, by things you cannot control. Because then you are fearful of everything, and you will be forever. So just like Shia LaBeouf, the famous actor, said, just do it. Just take the action. Think of what it will result to for you if you don't do it. And know the positive side of what it brings you when you do it. The positive side always is way heavier, way stronger, way more uplifting, or not heavy, so lighter probably, than the fear, than the side that's keeping you down. That's the side you want to let go of, right? So every time you take the step out of your comfort zone, every time you take the step to do something you have never done before, you create a little bit more freedom for yourself to enjoy yourself, to allow yourself to experience more, because you understand that these fears, these blocks, are just a stepping stone, just something you can grow from, right? Something you can elevate yourself above, because this has been your old way, your programming. You think you are afraid of this, or you think you cannot do this, or you think, and when you let go, it will just become doing, taking the steps, and growing. And then in a year or whatever, you will look back and look at all the things you have accomplished from taking that small step at the first time. And that's the beauty of life. Like, the small steps create the different future, create a whole different you, because your identity is not stuck. You have probably, or a lot of people in this world have created it to be stuck based on past experiences, but we need to break out of that, to go further than we've ever gone before, and we need to do that together, right? So the main part of this is, every time you feel like not doing something, it's a chance for you to grow further than you've gone before, to grow out of old ways of being, and give room for whatever new is coming in, right? For whatever wants to find you, whatever life wants to give you. So I want to thank you. I hope this helped some people. If not, leave a comment down below telling me what was maybe bad, or some criticism, or love, right? I'm open for anything. I want to grow, I want to learn. So if you can help me with that, do that. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe, because that way the YouTube algorithm will know I'm alive anyway. And I want to thank you for being you. So have a good day, and see you all next time. Peace.